I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to actually align with your higher self. Because the truth is that most people have no idea what your higher self actually is. They think that it's something out there that they're worshiping that's outside of them. I'm here to communicate to you that actually this is not the case, that actually you are your higher self. And I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to connect with this aspect of who you are to get you closer and more in alignment with who you actually are and what it is that you prefer to manifest at this time. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do actually post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you in this video in regards to how to actually align with your higher self is to understand that the first step in my experience is to deliberately choose your intentions and thoughts. Because I have multiple perspectives about the higher self or your higher self. And one thing that I encourage you to start to open yourself up to is the possibility that actually you are your higher self. And so the first step to this process is to take responsibility of the reality that you're creating. The higher self is nothing more, in my opinion, than infinite imagination where everything exists in this present moment, including things you can be grateful for that already exist in this present moment. Now, if you start to choose your thoughts deliberately, what you'll start to become conscious of is that your higher self comes through you, actually through your own thoughts, through your own visualizations, and through your own imagination. And those thoughts that resonate for you, that actually excite you, maybe puts you a little bit into fear too, but it feels totally aligned and it feels totally right. It feels a little bit scary, but it also feels expansive. That's your higher self. Now, when you have another sort of feeling in your emotional body that is like a dysresonance, that's also your higher self communicating to you that that situation, that frequency is out of alignment with something that you're intending for. And you can also call this the emotional guidance system, but this is your higher self. That's what it actually means to align with your higher self. I don't want to beat around the bush in this video. That is what it is. When you learn to trust in your own intentions and then trust in your emotions to see how close you are to manifesting those intentions, you're never going to look outside of you to know if you're in your power ever again. You're never going to look up to synchronicities. You're never going to look up to spirit guides. You're never going to look up to mentors. These things may pop up into your experience as an aligned relationship to get to where it is that you want to go, but you won't be chaotically and frantically depending on the outside world to know if you're grounded in who you really are. Because there's been times in my spiritual awakening journey, so to speak, where actually I believe that we're all spiritual. I believe that we're all divine creators, and spirituality was invented because we forgot how to be connected to who we really are. And so there's like this sort of coping that we've created, which is like, we need spirituality. It's like, you don't need spirituality. We're all creators. And if we all knew that, we wouldn't need spirituality anymore. That's just what I believe. I believe we're all spiritual. Now, when you can start to trust in your emotional guidance system, this is how you actually align with who you really are, is by trusting that certain things do not resonate for you and to own that fully. We live in a society where it's not normal to speak up for what doesn't resonate for you. Like, you're not allowed to have a preference. Why? Why are you not allowed to have your own individual experience? If this universe was limitless, if there was no such thing as fear, what would you create? That's what I believe it means to align with your higher self. Abundance-based creation. Not lack-based creation that's based on fear of something not working out. Creation that is grounded upon the foundation that everything exists and everything that you can want exists, and it doesn't exist somewhere out there, it exists now. And this is the experience of life right now, where you can choose to tune into that frequency with deliberate intention, and anything that's out of alignment with that intention, you'll actually feel that. And that is how you begin to trust in your higher self. Most people on this planet at this time unfortunately have no understanding of what's happening. They're not sensitive and in tune enough to be aware of when they are out of alignment with who they really are. And what happens is that they are actually not living into their own intentions. They're living into somebody else's intentions. They're actually NPCs. They are characters in somebody else's movie. And you don't want to be living life from this space. Believe me, it feels absolutely terrible, and for a good purpose. It feels absolutely terrible because it is your own consciousness communicating to you that you're completely out of alignment with the truth of actual existence. And the truth of actual existence is that you get to create your own party without taking away from anybody else's party. And people that resonate with that party that you're actually creating, they will join you in that party, and you both create your own party together. And even things that you don't believe, that you don't resonate with, you're just not going to talk about that, because there's no reason to have conversations with people about topics that don't resonate. And if it does come up, you'll just both know that you simply do not resonate with that, and that you don't need to talk about those things with that person or whatever the situation is. I highly encourage you to start to become conscious when you are in alignment with who you actually are, with who you say you are. I am this way. Well, are you following through with that with a surrendered action that proves to you that you are your higher self? If you don't do that, you'll feel the consequences of that. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you affirm for, because it is going to become a part of your experience. And if you resist that, you're going to have to change what you manifest, because you're not ready to manifest that. So you got to always be deliberate about what it is that you are manifesting. And I believe, in my experience, that that is the first step to aligning with what some people call your higher self, or you, or whatever you want to call it. I could also use the word the universe, consciousness, infinity, whatever you want to call it, existence. As far as I'm concerned, all these things are pointing to the same thing, that actually everything exists in imagination, and you're allowed to manifest it fully and see what that's like without actually taking away from anybody else's experience. You could also call that infinite love, if you want to call it that. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to actually align with your higher self is to, number 2, surrender into those intentions. Surrender into those intentions. See, you might have done a lot of spiritual work. And I say spiritual work because, like, again, we live in a society where we had to do all this spirituality to get back to our natural state. But I believe that if you've been attracted to this video, if you're resonating with what I'm saying, you already have a certain level of awareness. Now, what this means is that you're very good at just surrendering into this present moment. And the key is to choose the thoughts that resonate. This is just like, I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm gonna do my best here for you right now based on my personal experience. Here's what you do. You expand your awareness into what resonates for you. You feel into it fully. You become grateful for it fully. You literally feel the bliss of that reality as if it is already here now. Emotionalize it as much as possible. Be wise and choose your thoughts intentionally. Once that's done, once it feels like you're ready, you let that go and you surrender into it completely. You completely surrender into that reality. You surrender. You surrender to what is. You just simply surrender. And you allow, without knowing how, for that reality to manifest. You don't need to know how, but you do need to know one thing if you're in alignment, and to trust that. Knowing if you're in alignment is what your main priority should be, not how it's going to happen. Because when you know if you're in alignment, you'll know that it's happening, and that's all you need to know. You don't need to know how it's happening. You might bump into some random person that you've never talked to before. You might reach out to somebody that you've never talked to before. You might start noticing things in your experience that previously you've never noticed before because you had a different programmed mindset. But because now you set a different intention and you have a different mindset, your reticular activating system, your selective focus, your consciousness itself is now only noticing exactly what you prefer to see based on that intention. And we believe that this is not spiritual in society, when in fact, this is your natural state. That's what I believe. I believe this is your natural state, to see only what you prefer and to simply say no to what you do not prefer. And that actually, not only are you allowed to do that, but it is in the highest alignment of all beings to do that. It's not like, oh, you're just allowed, but there's like, it's really bad or something. It's like, no, it's not just allowed, it's preferred in this universe to manifest all your desires and to help others do so as well, through example of showing them that you can be powerful and that you can manifest your reality. And I believe that that's what we're here to do, but we've lost touch with that simply because we haven't given ourselves permission to simply be who we actually want to be. And it's a huge problem, so I encourage you to surrender into those intentions that actually you set for yourself, and it will allow you to become more of who you prefer to actually be. Now, the third thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to align with your higher self is number 3, always remember that you're trusting in your own intentions. Just remember that. I'm writing a book on this right now, actually. It's coming out soon. It's called The Power of Choice. So be tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Leave a comment down below if you're excited to see that book. That book is basically explaining one thing. And I want to share with you what that thing is in this video right now. Which is actually, I want you to be open to the possibility that everything that happens in your life is not a coincidence whatsoever. Everything in your life is divinely orchestrated and happens perfectly with intention, not by accident. If it happens by accident, actually, if you're aware enough at a certain level of consciousness, even those mistakes happen for a reason, and even those are manifestations that are perfectly in alignment with your intentions, whether you're conscious of it or not. So even if you choose to give away your power and your consciousness and believe that you're a victim and that things don't happen in divine timing and that things don't happen in perfect timing according to your intentions, that whole state of consciousness in of itself and mentality and mindset in of itself is actually a choice to be in that state of consciousness, and that is also an intention whether a person is conscious of that whole dynamic happening or not. Now, you can either be in alignment with your higher self and intending to receive and create what you want, or you can be totally out of alignment and just receive and create things that you don't want. Both of those are intentions. It is a choice to tune into what I call non-resonant frequencies that you don't actually want to be in. It's also a choice to be aware enough to notice those and say no to that, and then to go into what you prefer. Both of those are just as equally valid in this universe, except one will be more enjoyable, so to speak, to say the very least, and also it will be helpful, more helpful to the people around you, and you'll be able to get what you want in a much faster way. Have you ever noticed that feeling drained, feeling depleted, feeling disconnected has no benefit to you or the people around you? Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that suffering and not being connected to your heart space has no value to you or the people around you? Why is this the case? It's because this universe is designed to make it so that you can be abundant, and actually you spread and give abundance without actually lowering energy. I'm recording this video right now. You think I'm losing energy by actually recording this video? Absolutely not. I wouldn't even be recording this video right now if I was losing energy. I'd be doing something else that would be in alignment with what I prefer to create. Now, the key is to be hyper aware of when this is happening. But just to conclude this video so that we don't get too far off into different topics here, I just wanted to remind you and to be open to the possibility that actually everything in your life happens as a result of your intentions, whether consciously or unconsciously. Don't take my word for this. Start to deliberately choose your intentions and then surrender into them, and notice how your experience changes, and notice how actually you are your higher self, and that your imagination is your higher self, and choosing the imaginations and the imaginal acts, which I believe are real acts in this universe. I think imaginations and thoughts are real acts and decisions that do exist, just as valid as actual physical actions. And I believe that if you start to take action on that, so to speak, or start to notice that, you will be connected more to who you really are than ever. you'll realize that you are your higher self, and you'll realize that the whole time you were actually a divine creator of your experience. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. It's also going to be in the comments of this video as well. Also, leave a like on this video, because I do believe that actually every single person on this planet does deserve to know that they are divine creators of their reality, and that actually they can manifest their reality and do so in the most effortless and easeful way possible, helping themselves and helping others in the process as well. And then the like button has helped the YouTube algorithm push the videos out to more people, and that would be greatly appreciated. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.